Okay, so now I see the hype. Suck. Ooh, suck. Not me having trust issues. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Griselda. In today's video, we are going to be using nothing but brand new products. These are products that have launched this year in 2023, but also products that have launched in 2020. All of these products are products that I have not used. Like, I've seen everybody rave about them, but me personally, I haven't actually physically used them on myself or on other people. So that's what we're going to be doing today. But before we do that, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to turn on your notifications so you get notified every single time I upload. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this video. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. First, we are going to start off with some lip moisturizer. This is the Kosasport Lip Fuel. And this right here is a baseline hyaluronic lip balm. My lips lately, because of the weather and also because I haven't really been drinking a lot of water, have been dry as hell, so we need to it has like a interesting smell, but my lips haven't been moisturized, so we're just gonna moisturize them. It's very menthol. Yeah, it has like a menthol scent, which I don't mind. I feel like as a makeup artist, once you find something that you really love, you just kind of like stick to it. And I'm kind of afraid to like try other things, but I'm going to sit here and do my job as an influencer and try new things. So we're gonna start off with the Lawless. This is the Set the Stage Hydrating Plus Soothing Priming Serum. So it does three things. It hydrates, it primes, and it soothes the skin. So we are going to pump. So it comes out like a serum, and then I'm just going to work it into the palm of my hands and then just work it into the skin. It has a really interesting smell. It's not perfumey, but it just, I don't know, it smells like a serum. It's like weird. The best way that I can describe this primer is literally smooth. Like, it literally is gliding on to the skin. Okay, so I feel like a lot of primers, you can actually feel it on the skin. This feels really lightweight, which I like. Because I do have oily skin, I don't really like to apply anything that I'm gonna feel underneath the foundation. So this is definitely already feeling really nice on the skin. We're gonna go ahead and move on to concealers. A lot of my latest makeup videos, I've liked to like do most of the work underneath, so that's what we're going to continue doing today. And for that, we're going to be using the okay, so for concealer, we're going to be using the Alleyoop Game Face Second Skin Concealer. So I have three shades. I have Winner, MVP, and All Star. This is what they look like. I think I'm going to use this one to start off, because when I don't use a color corrector, I like to use a concealer that is a little bit more on the warmer tone and a little darker than my actual skin tone to kind of help conceal like any areas that I need or have pigmentation. So the Game Face Concealer, it has nourishing ingredients, it is crease proof, it has buildable coverage, and it has a natural finish. So let's go ahead and put that to the test. We're going to be using the shade MVP to kind of just color correct, like in this area. I have a little bit of redness, so we are just going to pop that in there. And I do like the applicator. It is making it really easy to kind of glide on. And I do have a little bit of pigmentation around the nose. Got this little sucker that came out of nowhere. I don't know what happened. Cover this little sunspot. I have a little pigmentation around the lips. Now I'm just gonna go in with a dual fiber brush. This one is an OG. When I tell you OG, this is, I think, the first collab that Morphe did with an influencer. I could be wrong, but this is the Angel Merino dual fiber brush. This is the number AC56, and obviously AC stands for Artist Couture. So I'm just gonna use that to kind of blend out the concealer. Let me just grab this mirror. So far the coverage is nice. It is looking a lot more like skin. I feel like this can be used just as foundation, or just kind of like if you want to have your skin look like skin. Super light coverage. Oh yeah, I really like this concealer. This concealer is so far going to be a yes for me. Usually what I like to do when I highlight now, I like to do like the lighter or like a warmer tone in the inner and outer corner, and then like a lighter shade in the center. So I might do the shade Winner, which is this shade right here. On camera, you guys can't really tell the difference, but this one's a little bit more on the warmer side and this is lighter. And you guys will see when I apply it. So we are gonna go in, wait, which one is this one? Okay, yeah, Winner. We're gonna apply Winner in the inner part and the outer. Okay, so now picking up All Star, we are going to just apply that right in the center. There's not much difference, but it is a little bit lighter. Maybe just the All Star would have worked. I wanted to test all three of them just because obviously it's a new concealer and I just wanted to see what it was gonna look like. We're gonna just let it sit there because that's usually what I do with my concealers before I blend it out. Moving on to contour, we got this new package from Milk. This is the Swipe Blend Go. Let's look at the little pamphlet. They look like they're mini size. And then we have the Sculpt stick, the matte bronzer, the lip and cheek, and then the highlighter. These are all the new shades. So these are the Sculpt, and then we also have the matte bronzer, and then we have the lip and cheek, and then we also have the highlighters. Okay, we're gonna start off with Stoked, which is a Sculpt, and then we are going to do Blaze. Here it says, quick tip to find your perfect contour shade, suck in your cheek. See the shadow it creates, that's the color you want to match. It's not creating that much of a shadow. Apply whatever shade naturally falls in your face along the temples and the hollow of the cheeks and along your jawline. I love this because it's very travel friendly, and I love that it always has a little protector, and then you twist it up. Ooh, that's very maybe did I pick the wrong shade? Let's try, maybe I need a lighter shade. That looks a little dark, but this looks very ashy. I don't know, hold on, let's do this one on this side. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Oh, let's blend this out really quick because that is too ashy for me. And yeah, that's not gonna work. We're gonna blend this out really quick. Hold on. I'm just gonna grab this dual fiber brush, LR350. LaRousse, I think is how you pronounce the brand. Oh, wow. Oh. Wait, hold on. I like the way that this is blending out. Not me having trust issues. Do we like this? No, I think this is too gray on me. We are gonna stick to using Blaze. Toasty, no. Toasty is a no for me. No, this is not it. Yeah, Toasty is a hard no for me. We're gonna stick to using Stoked. Really do like the way that that looks. We're gonna do this one more time. Okay, so as of lately, I really have been working it into my hairline. So instead of doing it this way, I like to push it inwards like that. Now that we have the frame, move on to using Blaze. And I'm just gonna use a little bit of this like right at the very top and at the bottom to add a warmthness. Like that, and then I'm just gonna add that in between. I will say the formula of this is extremely creamy, and I love that because it's going to be very easy to blend out. Now that we have the placement of that, I did not apply it on my nose because if you've been following me for a while, you know that on my nose I do like more of a cooler tone just to give it more of a natural finish. So that's the only reason why I didn't apply it there. I'm gonna spray myself first. This is not a brand new product, but I always like to spray myself with a spray, and I'm gonna be using the Fix Plus by MAC before I go in and blend everything out. So I also like to do that just in case any of the products might have just dried down a little bit. So it's gonna help you bring those products back to life, and it's gonna make it a lot easier for you to blend out. So I'm just gonna use that same brush, and we are going to start blending. When looking for a cream product to use to like contour or blush, you want to make sure that it doesn't dry down, and this one definitely does not dry down at all. Now we're just going to grab a beauty blender and we're going to blend out the concealer, and I really thought the concealer was going to dry down, but it is blending away really nice. The only thing I have to say about this concealer, I do love that it's like a skin-like concealer, but because I love the formula so much, I want this concealer to be a little bit more full coverage, because I do like it, don't get me wrong. For like my mom on the go days, like I feel like this is gonna be my go-to concealer, but because I like the formula so much, I like wish that it was a little bit more full coverage. Maybe if I add a little bit more, it gives me a little bit more coverage. And I'm just applying Winner. No, it's really giving very like skin. I mean, honestly, I feel like I can just add a little bit of like setting powder and I can be good to go. Like the way that my skin looks right now, I feel like it looks great. But we are here to try some new makeup, and with new makeup comes a new foundation. So for foundation, we are going to be using the brand new, this is the Good Apple Full Coverage Serum Foundation, and I got 2 shades. I actually went to an event where I got matched with these 2 shades. I wanted one that was kind of like similar to my skin, but I wanted something that was going to be a little bit on the darker side, because you know, I do like to get tan. And so this is what we're going to be using for foundation. I got tan 060 and I have medium 036. This foundation literally melted onto the skin. I didn't try it. They just kind of shade matched me and they put a little bit of the foundation on my chin. But I think I'm going to go with the tanner shade because I think I like that better. Okay, so this foundation is transfer proof. It comes in 40 shades, stands against sweat and humidity, and it's for oily skin. So if you're oily like me, this might be your new go-to foundation. It does say that it's full coverage, but it does say that it is buildable. It feels like skin. It covers blemishes, great for acne-prone skin. Like, look at that. So let's go ahead and give this a try. I'm just gonna put it in the back of my hand. I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do 3 pumps. And I'm gonna use this Huda Beauty Face Cheek Color brush. And, oh my God, okay, maybe that's too much. But the like, what? Do you see this coverage? So one thing that the girl that helped me pick out my shade, she did tell me that I need to let it sit for at least like 2 minutes before I do anything else, so it can really melt into the skin. I forgot the word that she used. She didn't use oxidize, because I feel like a lot of people do tend to take that word and use it in like a negative way. Oxidize just means that it's going to settle into its true color. So if you want to make sure that you're picking the right foundation, just let it sit for like a minute or 2. And honestly, I don't feel like I have anything on the skin. Usually with a full coverage foundation, sometimes it can feel like a little heavy. I wish that you guys can see it in like person. So the technique that I have been doing lately works best when you use a non-full coverage foundation, because as you guys can see, it literally took away everything that I did, which is okay because I obviously didn't know how full coverage this foundation was going to be, but it also still feels really natural on the skin. It feels really lightweight. This foundation is definitely going to be very much used. Okay, so I'm just gonna let the foundation sit for about 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna come back and then we are gonna see what it actually looks like once it already melted onto the skin. So as I waited, I did go back and added a little bit more warmthness back to the skin using the same products that I used prior, and I also added a little bit more of the Game Face concealer, and I feel like I can afford to add a little bit more of the concealer because it is so lightweight. So now you can see my face has a little bit more structure. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to blush, which I'm really excited about. For blush, we're gonna be using the Danessa Myricks Beauty Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Flushed for the lips and the face. That was a very long name. I think I want to go with probably Jubilee, which is the shade right here. I think I'm going to go in with the Rose and Brunch, which is this really pretty rosy color. So this blush is hydrating, soothing, blurring, texture reducing, buildable, blendable, all day wear, weightless, and it's oil absorbing, which literally has, like, the fact that this blush has so many benefits is insane, because when have you heard of a blush having all of that in one? As you guys can see, why I was super excited to try this. So a lot of people do like to use this product with your fingers because the warmthness of your fingers is going to help it blend a lot better. So I'm gonna do it with my fingers on one side, and I'm gonna do it with a brush on the other side. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dive in. I don't have anything on my fingers, and we're just gonna, ooh, it's like literally butter. Look at that. Okay, so we're just going to apply that with the fingers. Wow, that's such a pretty color. And y'all know I don't like to use my fingers for anything. Like, it makes me kind of cringe. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more. I really worked this in, and I thought I was gonna use my beauty blender to kind of blend everything out around the edges, but my finger did just fine. Okay, so now I see the hype. So I'm gonna use this Glowish by Huda. This is the face bronze and blush brush. I know I've mentioned this before, that I do like to use dual fiber brushes with cream products because I find that it blends the product into the skin a lot better. So we're gonna pick that up with that brush, and oh, that's a lot. Okay, and then I'm just gonna kind of apply a little bit of that on the back of my hand because I feel like I did pick up a little too much. So we're just gonna place that onto the cheek. The pigment on this is literally insane. And I'm also kind of blending it up to my concealer. I like the blend with the fingers better. I hate that I'm saying that because I don't like to use any products with my fingers, but I do like the application with my fingers a lot better. I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender and then just blend out right around the edges and like right underneath. Wow, I'm like literally in love with all of these products so far. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. I don't have any new setting powder. I'm just gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury, the one that I just bought in my vlog. This is the Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I haven't used this in ages, so we're gonna go ahead and use that to set underneath the eyes. And then I'm gonna just pick it up with this Huda Beauty puffer. Before setting, you always wanna make sure that there is no creasing underneath the eyes. And then we're just gonna go in and set. So I did a little bit of baking and added a little bit of bronzer. I will add all of the products that I'm not using on camera in the description box. These are all products that I've already used, that are my staples, that are my go-tos. So there's really no need for me to like show you guys because I probably already used in a previous video. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the brows. For the brows, we're also gonna be using the Alleyoop. This is the Pen Pal. So this pencil took me back to like my elementary days. maybe not elementary, maybe like middle school or something, but I know I used to have one of these pens back in the days. This is obviously not a regular pen, it is a makeup pen. I know you guys remember this, and if you don't remember it, that means that I'm either getting very old and you're too young, because literally I used to love using these pens. And you know what, I'm actually gonna see if I can find this on Amazon, because I like love to write stuff on my planner in my journal. So if I just need to switch the color, I can just do this and the color is switched. But obviously this is a makeup pen. It's really cool because it has 4 essential. It has the black eyeliner, which is this here. It has a highlighter, which is this one right here. And then the lip liner in mauve, this one here. And then the brow pencil in medium brown, which is this one right here. So that's the one that we're gonna be using. The only thing that I will say is, because I'm so used to like my Precisely My Brow or my Lawless Shape Up brow pencil, they automatically have like a spoolie. So my natural instinct was to go like this, but obviously I can't because it doesn't have that. That's the only thing that I will say. But aside from that, I love the fact that it is, you know, so compact and you have so many different things that you can use in one pen. I'm just gonna grab the back of this brow pencil and I'm just gonna brush up my brows. And the reason why I like to do this is because it helps remove any extra product, foundation, powder, you know, so on and so forth, off my brow before I go in to use my brow pencil. Obviously, if the product is running low, you just twist and and then it just pushes up the product. The formula is very creamy. I think I probably need a darker shade because I think it's too brown for my brows. I do like the formula though. Now that I'm looking at the color is actually not bad. It's actually pretty good. I personally don't like any highlighter pens underneath the brow just because that's just my preference. I like to use a concealer. I like it to look a little bit more on the natural side, but we're just gonna test it out just to see what it looks like. And if I don't like it, I can just go over it with the concealer. You know how the saying goes, don't knock it till you try it. It's actually not bad. Okay. I definitely feel like I need to blend it out just a little bit. So I'm gonna use this flat brush. This is the medium sweeper E54 brush. And I'm using a flat brush opposed to a blending brush because I want it to blend out the edges. I don't want to buff out the actual color. And the flat brush will work perfectly for that. I actually like this. I'm just adding a little bit more of that like underneath. I'm shocked at the fact that I like the way that this champagne highlighter looks underneath the brow. So for brow gel, I know this has probably been around for a while, but I've never tried Kosas' brow gel. This is the Airbrow and it's clear. I think it's really hard to tell if you're gonna like a brow gel instantly. I think you have to wait maybe till like you're done with your makeup or throughout the day just to see how it like sits with the brows or if it stays in place. I do like the brush because it's actually combing the product through all of my brows, so that I do like. Like I feel the brush like tugging on my brow hair, and that's how you can tell that the brush is good, but I don't know if the formula is gonna be good. So I'll let you guys know probably at the end of this video. Moving on to the eyes, I just prepped my eyes with my P. Louise base, but I just got this new package from Huda Beauty. This is the Khol Goals Glide Smudge and Play. We have some brand new eyeshadows. First of all, she looks stunning and I wish I had enough hair to do this hairstyle. Let's go ahead and see what she has here. 2 brand new eyeliners, which she's talking about here. I want to recreate this look up here. I think it's so stunning. I love the colors. I'll show you guys the palette in a second. I just did like a purple eyeshadow look, so I think I'm gonna use the other eyeshadow palette. So here are the Creamy Khol Glide On Smudge and Play eyeliners. She came out with 2 shades, black and a rich brown. They're retractable, ultimate pigment, transfer proof, 24-hour flake proof. Aside from those 2 eyeliners, she also launched these 2 palettes. This is what the purple eyeshadow looks like. I love the size, super compact. These are very easy to travel with. I actually have a few of her palettes in my kit because they literally fit anywhere. But this is the eyeshadow palette that we're gonna be using today. go ahead and dive in. I've already prepped my eyes. There hasn't been really any new eyeshadow palette that have really launched that I'm like, oh my god, wow. I will say, like, I do love all of Huda's, like, the formula that Huda uses in all of her palettes are like, I love, because there's not a lot of fallout and the pigment is just like beautiful. So I'm gonna try my best to recreate that eyeshadow. I will take a screenshot of that photo and insert it here so you guys can see what her eyeshadow looks like a little bit better. We're gonna start off with a warm tone first to kind of like start the transition of the shade. A lot of people go in straight to like the dark color, and for me, it just doesn't work that way. I like to have a transition first before I go in with like a darker shade. So that's what we're gonna do. I personally feel like it just helps me blend the eyeshadows better. We're gonna be using this color first. This is another old brush. This one's from Sugar Pill. This was the taper blending and crease brush. I'm telling you, I've had some of my brushes for over like 10 years. So I'm gonna start off by applying that in the crease, but also adding a little bit of pressure and then just going back and forth. So the reason why I like to do that is so I can feel where the socket of my crease is. And then as you can see, I'm like working it upwards, but like in a circular motion. And then here I like to just go back in and go back and forth. Going into the darker shade, we're just gonna use a little bit of setting powder and place it underneath. Sometimes it depends. You can be the best makeup artist, but you're still gonna get fallout. That is just how the cookie crumbles. Because I want the crease to be a little bit more detailed, I'm gonna go in with my Morphe M506 brush. If you do not have this brush, you need to stop what you're doing and you need to go get it, because this brush right here is going to blow your mind when it comes to your eyeshadow. It's gonna make everything so much easier. It is literally the smallest version of a bigger blending brush, but I like it because it's a little bit more tapered and it gets right into the crease. I don't know what I need to do, but I definitely feel like I need a crew behind this camera, because I was talking, I was blending, I was doing all of this. I looked at the monitor and the little recording thing wasn't on. It wasn't recording. So I'm like halfway done my eyeshadow and here I am. But I picked up this eyeshadow here and then I literally was just going back and forth and creating that crease. And then so now I'm just going in with the base to kind of create the cut crease. Like literally, I don't know what's been happening, but this is the second time something similar like that happens to me, but that's okay. Using this Huda, this is the eye blender brush, and we're gonna use this orangey shade here. And I'm using a fluffy brush instead of a flat brush because I want to blend out the eyeshadow as I'm applying it. This is very different for me. I really love the way that it looks on her, but I don't know if I'm really loving it on myself. I'm gonna just thug it out and finish applying the rest of the eyeshadow. Now we're gonna pick up the lightest shade, and I'm using this Fenty 230 blending brush. Let me make sure that I blend this out first, and we're just gonna place that on the lid. Yeah, this definitely does not look like how it looks on her. Obviously she's deeper skin. Yeah, I don't like the way that this looks. I love the colors, I just don't like the color combo on myself. I'm just going to push that lighter shade back here. Yeah, this is not it. But that's okay, because guess what? There is nothing that you can't fix. This is not a new palette, but we're just here to fix something. I already have eyeshadow. I don't want to go back in with a base. We are going to pick up just like a lighter eyeshadow, and I'm going to use this one's called Foxy. This is from the Naked Urban Decay Naked Foxy, and I'm just using a smaller flat brush. And essentially what you want to do is you want to just grab a lighter cream color, and then we are just going to place it on top of lid color. And voila, that was such an easy fix. This is as good as it's gonna get. You live and you learn. But we were able to fix it and it doesn't look as bad. Moving on to eyeliner, she did come out with two shades, the brown and the black. I'm gonna use the black one because I feel like the black is going to make a huge difference opposed to the brown one. Her eyeliners are pretty good. I've used some of her other eyeliners and I really like them. but I feel like this one's about to be really creamy. This is gliding on very smoothly, and it is black. And I'm just applying it. I'm not making it perfect because I am going to smudge it out. I'm going to grab a pencil brush. This is a Morphe M431 brush. And I'm just going to use the tip of the brush and just kind of flick it outwards and then bring it in. I will say that once it's on, because I'm trying to smudge it out and it's not smudging. If you're going to use this eyeliner at the top and you want it to be like very precise, I would say that I highly recommend that you go in with a more detailed brush. This is definitely gonna work for like the waterline. So now I'm just gonna use that same eyeliner. Sometimes it's hard for eyeliners to glide on, but this one is literally, it's just gliding on very nice. This is going to be a 10 out of 10 for the waterline. And the fact that it's like so rich in color for a like really smoked out waterline, this is going to be your go-to eyeliner. Okay, so no fallout. So let's go ahead and dust this powder off. I popped on some lashes, but you know what? I'm gonna, for the sake of this video, because y'all know I don't like to do any black eyeliner in my waterline. It's just not me. I was applying my lashes and I was just like, you know what, Griselda, just go for it. And here we are. Do you see how easy that glided on? 10 out of 10 for this eyeliner. Okay, so moving on to, what are we moving on to? For the lips, we have some brand new lip liners and some Melting Touch lip balms from Iconic London. We have 3 shades of the lip balm, 3 shades of the lip liner. So this lip liner does come in 6 shades, and then the lip balm comes in 5 shades. That lip balm by Kosas actually really hydrated my lips, because you guys have seen how crusty my lips have looked. Usually lip liners like this I don't gravitate to, because I feel like it's really hard for the product to kind of glide onto the lips, but you guys saw how easily that went on. I also forgot to mention that this also comes with a sponge, so if you're trying to like diffuse the lip liner, blend it in with the lipstick, you can also use this side. I love that the lip liner also does have that, so you don't have to like pick up a brush, because usually I would just use a brush to do that. The formula of this lip liner is a lot creamier than your typical like pencil lip liners. Just for the fun of it, let's go ahead and use the sponge. I feel like lip balms have become a lot more popular than regular lipsticks. I feel like I would gravitate more to like a lipstick and a lip gloss, maybe because I'm like more old school. But lip balms have been making an entrance in the lip world. These are the 3 shades. Okay, so be very careful, because once you click it, you can't click it back. It's one of those non-retractable lip balms. So we're gonna be using Love Language for the lips. Okay, so lip balms for me are like very sheer. This is not sheer, and it's like creamy. It's giving like lipstick and lip gloss in one. I was really underestimating this, because when I tell you, I don't gravitate to any lip balm, because I feel like they're not as pigmented, and like the colors are a little off. But this, I know, like, yeah, this is going to be used very often. I feel like there hasn't been one thing that has really disappointed me, aside from like my fault and like the eyeshadow part. I'm gonna swatch the other 2 so you can see what the other 2 colors look like. That's also really pretty. And then we have this one right here. Nothing's changed. I'm not good at swatching stuff, so. And then I'm just gonna put the other one that I just used right underneath this, so you guys can see all 3 shades. Since I swatched these, I wanna go ahead and swatch the lip liners. So this one is Sister Sister. And then this one is Seriously Cute. Okay. And then obviously you guys know what this looks like, but we're gonna just swatch it just because. Love the lip liner, love the lip balm. The only thing I will say about the lip balm, the component, like I want this to be retractable. And that's the only thing that I have to say, because as we can see, it's a beautiful shade, and the formula was great. You guys saw how beautifully that thing just glided on. But aside from that, I feel like that's all I have to say about the lip balm. With that being said, this is the final look. All of the products did not disappoint. I feel like I was gonna at least say no to one of the products, but all of the products, like from the primer to the foundation to the concealer to, oh, the brows. I feel like the brow gel, it kept my brows in place. I don't feel my brows crunchy. They do feel like they're in place though. So I would say yes to even the brow gel. Everything in this video I really loved and I will be using again. I felt like I was going to at least say no to one thing, but no. All of them are going to be a yes for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. This ponytail is really like, it's, I think I put a bobby pin like right somewhere, or is it the ponytail? Something's like causing some commotion back here. Let me just try to figure this out really quick. Ooh, that feels good. Oh. It's like instant relief.